Hi everyone, it's Shar. Welcome back to my channel. For this reading vlog, as you can see, I want to read some romance manga. I do typically enjoy manga for the most part, but I think I would really love romance manga, especially because the only romance manga that I've read is Sweat and Soap, and I adore Sweat and Soap, and I'm almost done with the series. So I'm looking to fill that void. Now, when it comes to romance manga, I'm a fucking newbie. I don't know how to tell if something is a romance manga or not when I go to the bookstore. Manga is something that's not well stocked at my library, especially not romance manga. So I anticipate that this might hurt my wallet. But mostly I'm just on the quest to find some really good romance manga series. And we're gonna start this video by me looking up how to tell if something is a romance manga and who the biggest publisher of romance manga is. I'm going to cut it to the version of me who now has a list of some potential romance mangas, and then if I need to go shopping, you and I will go to the bookstore. I'm gonna head to Barnes & Noble to see if they have some of the books that I'm thinking of. I have a little list that I made of all of the romance mangas I'd like to check out. Am I actually gonna buy them? Probably not, because your girl's not trying to spend money, but I'm gonna look at them. I made it. Yes, I'm very sweaty, but look. All of the Barnes & Noble mangas. Let's see if I can find any of the romances. Ooh, buy one, get one 50% off. It's almost like they knew I didn't want to spend money. So I know that Yona of the Dawn is like a classic romance manga, but they don't have volume 1, so I'm not going to be reading that. That one is also romance manga. This looks like it would be a spicy manga, and it's by Ghost Ship, so maybe, but again, no volume 1, so that doesn't help me. Husband in general is a manga that I want to read, but no volume 1. Maybe we've hit the jackpot. It's wrapped, so you know, yep, explicit content definitely seems like it would fit the criteria. It's $14, which for a book that's super small is a lot, and it's Ghost Ship, so what's this about? Interesting. But how unlucky for us, that's volume 4. There's no volume 1. Sign of Affection is a manga that was on the list potentially. I'm pretty sure I could get it from my library though. These two were also potential options from my original list. This one I believe is a Yuri and perhaps Polly, which I'm very curious about. And this one is an arranged marriage. This one is a yaoi and could also be really interesting, again by 7 Seas, and it is wrapped. Here's your little blurb of it in case you want to pause the video and check it out. I am also very curious about that one. Okay, this one is a romance, like a political historical romance, and just gave me the giggles. They have fire in his fingertips. funny. Love it. Here's the update. Yes, they have a couple of the mangas that's on my original list, and I'm happy I found some new ones that I'm thinking could also work for this video. With that said, even with the buy one get one 50% off sale, my library, number one, does not have any of these. I was checking in between clips. Number two, I can get the digital copy of these mangas, which I'm sure some of you are like, how dare you read the digital copy? That's what I'm gonna do, because even if I bought all of the digital copies, it would still cost me less than buying these books on sale. So that was the update, but I knew I wasn't going to buy anything when I came. They also closed that cafe, so I'm gonna have to go to a different Starbucks to get like a afternoon snack. So I will see you at home. I managed to find almost all of the 18 mangas on my list physically at the library, which I placed holds for, so those will come in soon. And then Scribd had a couple of them available, and then I only had to purchase 2 of them.
1 week later.
It has been some time, but I've acquired the books from the library, the ones that I could. I have a few more on my Kindle, so I'm very excited to read these, although they are all labeled as like YA except for this one. So I'm very, very sure that there will be no spice in any of these romance mangas, but I'm so excited. I am gonna make this a 24-hour thing because I would like this to go up on Sunday. Plus also the Wi-Fi has completely cut off because there's no service right now, so I have nothing better to do. I wanted to go through the books and also tell you that I'm aiming to know as little as possible about these books before I go into it. That is just my preferred way to read. As I give you the reading update for each of these mangas, I'll give you the full summary for them. Based on my research, here are some of the books that has come up for me as recommended romance mangas. We have Nameless Asterism, which I believe is a poly romance featuring 3 girls, so I'm very excited to read this. My Love Mix-Up, which I think is like a love triangle. Someone has a crush on someone, but then someone else like misunderstands that and think this other person has a crush on them and then gets on a crush on them. From what I understand, it's like a true love triangle because of course it has to be a triangle, and for it to be a triangle, someone has to be gay. So this is what this is about. Cutie and the Beast. Cutie and the Beast is the story of this girl who really likes like big, strong men, and she's into pro wrestling, and she has a favorite wrestler, this guy. She sends him like fan mail, and he has a super soft side. The fan mail touches him in a way that no fan mail has ever touched. We'll ignore it. The joke that I could make there, but he and her strike up a friendship, I guess, and it's a romance manga, so I'm assuming they fall in love, and we're also gonna say they're really close to the same age. Let's hope for that.
Me after reading this book.
Happy Marriage is the only one on here that is not labeled as a young adult, if you can see that. It just says graphic novel. It is a manga. So this is like an arranged marriage. That's all I know about this one. And then The Demon Prince of Momochi House is a story of this young woman who inherits some kind of house. She's like, I'm gonna take care of it. But when she goes, lo and behold, there's already a demon taking care of the house. So I think it's their love story. I'm gonna sit down and read through all of these. I'll try to give you updates as frequently as I can, but some of these are very short and it usually doesn't take me more than like 45 minutes to get through a manga. So hopefully I'll be able to get through all 5 of these by tonight. It is currently 3:30 p.m. I do have some digital versions of romance mangas checked out from my library. I know that there are some on Scribd, and I also know that I was tricked into a Comixology subscription, and there are some on there as well. So let's get into it. Romance manga readathon, plus there'll be sprints tonight, so that'll be lots of fun. That's upside down. Okay, y'all, I did just finish volume 1 of Nameless Asterism. I'm giving this, I feel like I said that really wrong just now, but I'm giving this 3 stars. I had a good enough time with it, but ultimately I felt like the plot was a little bit hard to follow and I was confused. At the end of this, the only thing that I knew is that there was a love triangle. We have this girl in love with this girl who's in love with this girl, but this girl is supposedly in love with all of these other boys. And I'm just like, I sense the poly vibes in here, but I'm not sure that it will ever get poly. And something I want to be mindful of is that it's very easy for me to come from like my perspective and say, y'all should just be in a relationship with each other. But obviously it's a completely different set of circumstances. And these are 3 young girls living in Japan. So I want to be mindful of not attaching my preconceived idea of what a viable solution is for them when I don't know the circumstances that they're in. 3 stars, wanted more romance, hard to follow, plot lost me at many points. I know this book here is also a love triangle. I know that it is also gay, Nameless Asterism, by the way, very gay. Love that aspect of it. This one is also gay. I know it's also a love triangle. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from the love triangle situation and instead jump into Cutie and the Beast, which hopefully is a super sweet romance manga. But sprints have started. I am on sprints and it's helping with the motivation. Cutie and the Beast. Let's get to it. It is very early for me to give you an update on Cutie and the Beast. First, this book is reading so quickly. I'm already halfway through it and I've been reading for all of 10 minutes. Second, this book does have me smiling and grinning because it's so fucking cute. And yes, it is heavy on the romance. But third, and most importantly, I have conflicting feelings because I'm like, how dare this book be so cute? But I don't know how old our main female character is here, because at the very beginning, she's at home and she's like fighting with what we now know as her sister. The energy gives off roommates because there's no like parental figure. It's just her and her sister and they're fighting over like the TV. We get like one scene with what I presume to be the parent saying like, what are you girls doing? And then the next scene is her in school. But that's the only scene we've gotten so far of her in school. And the way the characters are drawn, it's like very obvious that they are older. Can you kind of see that? This is them in school. So I'm like, how old is this girl? So I did a little bit of research and I'm hopeful that at the very least she's in junior college, because then she would be in the tail end of her high school years, which is only 3 years in Japan from what I understand. And it's no longer compulsory after end of junior high. So I'm hoping that she's at least in like junior college or university. Otherwise, our girl's a minor entering a relationship with a man. I will let you know if I ever figure that out, because it feels very crucial to my enjoyment of this book that this girl is of legal age, and even then that she's not in high school, because I have this perspective of no grown man should be dating a high schooler even if she's 18 years old. I'm like, please don't let her be in high school. I'll let you know if I ever find that out, or if by some miracle this man here is actually also 18, although I doubt it. He very much looks like he's in his mid to late 20s. Literally exactly 2 seconds later, we have the page where he is talking to her on the phone and he's like, oh, what do you do for work? And we have like the record scratch and it's just me saying, don't go there.
Don't go there.
Because he does not know, and she has confirmed for us that she's in high school. I'm like, girl, you cannot do this. He doesn't know that you're in high school. He does not know that you are underage. This relationship cannot go anywhere. And you cannot fool this man into thinking that you are not a teenager. We'll see where it goes. It is approximately 10 minutes later. I finished Cutie and the Beast, which read so quickly, and I did love it. I did. Here's the thing. Everything that I've said in the previous clips, literally a few minutes ago for me, still stands, because I'm just like, no, don't go there. I don't know what to tell you without spoiling anything, but what I will tell you is that every single thought that I had was a conflict in this book. Every single issue came up. there were qualms, and this is very, very clear that this is just the first time that they're meeting and that their relationship has a long way to go, because this guy, no, he's not willing to go for it. Just know, I thought it, I said it, the book addressed it in some way. I would have to read the entire series to know where exactly it's going to end up going. This whole, she's a high schooler, he's almost 30 years old. She is 18, I can tell you that, but the whole she's in school thing and she's 18 and there's a big ass age gap and he's like, I'm gonna spoil it. I need to know how the story ends to have a full opinion on this, because at the moment, without spoiling anything, I don't know how to talk to you about this the first time they meet, is what I'll say, because otherwise it's literally a spoiler. I think right now I'm settling on 4 stars for this book just because I did really love it. It felt like a drama. I can't comfortably give it 5 stars because of that whole dynamic. The next book that I'm gonna read is The Demon Prince of Momochi House. And I want to be clear with this video, yes, it is a 24-hour reading vlog of me reading romance mangas. I only have 2 left physically. There's another one on hold for me at the library, but I'm at no point pressuring myself to finish as many books as I can within this 24 hours. And I do have other books that I'm also in the middle of. So I'll read mangas until I get tired of reading mangas, and then we'll resume again in the morning, where I will be in the exact same pajamas because it is 10 p.m. and I will stay in my pajamas in the morning. Yeah, no. I'm not going to read this next. I think that transitioning from Cutie and the Beast, which is obviously intended to be like more mature, into this was very jarring because it is a lot younger. I've read the first like 10 pages and let me tell you what happens. My girl's like, hi, my name is such and such. Fine. Whatever. And she's inherited this house, and she goes to her house and there's 3 guys living at her house, and they're like, we're squatters. She goes, I have the will, I'm the owner of this house. And they're like, we don't care, you have to leave. And then she leaves. Very, very young, which does not have to be a bad thing, but it's definitely not the thing that I'm in the mood for. So I'm going to put this down and instead transition to one of the other books, which I'll pull out right now. Instead, I'm going to read Happy Marriage, potentially one of my only spicy books on this TBR. It is a arranged marriage. They don't like each other, but it's the only book that is not labeled as young adult. So I'm going to read this instead for tonight. Then I'm gonna finish it and read my other books, and we'll pick back up tomorrow. But let me give you my thoughts on this one first. First of all, loving this so far. I'm literally like 15 pages in. Billionaire vibes, dominant billionaire vibes. But turns out I lied to you earlier because your girl's fucking tired and I'm going to sleep. So I'll finish this in the morning. Good night. It is the next day. It is noon. So I am actually dressed. I want to let you know the lighting's gonna be shit. So I apologize for that. It is such a dark and rainy day. This is the brightest that it is in my home right now. I did finish Happy Marriage. I'm giving it 4 stars. Let me do my best to give you a summary. This dude, he's a CEO, right? But his grandpa is actually the one who like gets to decide who gets to be the president. And his grandpa was best friends with this girl's mom. He like worked for her, and now their family is hella rich. But grandpa is like, I know that your family is financially struggling, and you know what would help you? If you married my grandson and he paid off all of your debts. So they have to get married. And this is all about like the beginnings of their marriage. I think it's like a few weeks in their marriage and like them getting to know each other. Very much a possessive, kind of toxic, the man you love to hate, but he's a billionaire. That's the whole situation. I did really enjoy it. Like I said, it's 4 stars, and that's all I have to say about it. I would be very happy to continue the series. And speaking of continuing the series, at some point last night, I very much realized that all of these mangas are series. And of course I knew that, but it also made me realize that technically I would have started like 7 series in this video. I'll tell you at the end like my final ranking of all of the mangas that I've read and which series I am most likely to continue with. But here is the update for what's gonna come up next. I will not be reading the Demon Prince of Emoji House. It just feels way too young for me. It is giving me strong Black Butler energy, which I didn't like Black Butler. I know that if I force myself to continue this, at most, I'd give it like 2.5 stars. So we're just gonna leave that where it is. The final book that I have physically is My Love Mix-Up, but I instead am going to read A Sign of Affection, which is the digital manga that I have checked out from my library. And then I also have Midnight Secretary waiting for me at the library. But because it is already noon and I'm only gonna read until 3:30 p.m., we'll see if I do or don't get to that in this video. If I don't, then of course you'll see it in my March wrap up. So I did read the book I had checked out from the library, which was the e-version of this manga, A Sign of Affection. This follows the story of a young woman in college, I believe they are. She is deaf and she's on the train one day and she runs into this guy. Turns out this guy goes to her school, but he travels a lot, and it is very much about them having a little bit of a crush on each other. I really loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was very cute and it was very sweet, and I'm so excited to read the next volume. In this one, like I said, it was just them kind of having a crush on each other, him doing some traveling, her coming to terms with her feelings about like having a crush on him. And he is trilingual at the moment. He speaks Japanese, English, and German. He's learning Chinese and he's learning Spanish, and she wants to teach him sign language and he wants to learn sign language as well. So they are going through that in the first book. The next book that I picked up also coincidentally happens to be about a deaf character. In this one, we are also in college, but it is male. So we have a character who's kind of withdrawn from other people just because of how they tend to treat him. They really talk badly about him and like say terrible things because he can't hear us anyway, and he's just been treated in ways that makes him want to retreat. He lost his hearing when he was a young child, and he runs into this other kid who is like struggling and he's really hungry, so he gives him his lunch, and they have this agreement that this person will take notes for our main character in exchange for lunch, and of course feelings develop there. I'm halfway through it. I didn't even tell you what the name of this manga was. It's I Hear the Sunspot. Editing me would have popped it up on the video already, but yeah, I'm enjoying that too. The only other manga that I have to read after this is this one right here, My Love Mix-Up. That's upside down. This one right here, My Love Mix-Up, which I'm very excited to get to, and that would probably be the last manga that I'll be reading in this video because it is almost 2 p.m. and I am already getting tired and a little bit burnt out on reading these mangas back to back, but I'm still having a good time. I'm feeling myself fully immersed in all of the stories, so see you with the next update. It is 3:45 p.m. I'm not gonna lie to you all, the afternoon slump is hitting me so hard. I just want to take a nap, but I wanted to update you on the final 2 books that I read in our final few minutes of this 24-hour reading romance manga reading vlog. I did finish I Hear the Sunspot. I thought it was very cute, and I overall gave it like 3.5 stars, 4 stars. It was a good time. Then I finished off with My Love Mix-Up in the last half hour of this little 24-hour timer. This was such a cute story. Let me tell you more about it. This guy here is Ida, and this one here is Aoki. I'm definitely mispronouncing that. I think it's Aoki. And this is Hashimoto. And Hashimoto has a eraser where she has written Ida love, and she lends it out to Aoki, who has a crush on her. Now Aoki has the eraser and this guy here sits behind him, and Aoki drops the eraser and Ida sees it and he's like, what? So because Aoki has a huge crush on Hashimoto and she doesn't want Ida to know that she has a crush on him, he pretends that it's his eraser and he's the one that has a crush on Ida. They end up getting closer together. At first, Ida is like, I don't have a crush on you. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to turn you down. You're such a nice guy. Things happen and then he's like, actually, Do I? So it is a very cute story. I had a great time with it. I'm giving it 4 stars. And let me give you the wrap up. So the one and only book that I DNF'd, The Demon Prince, started with Nameless Asterism, which upon further reflection, I'm giving like a 3-star. I think that's what I originally gave it, but if it's not, that's what it is now. Then I read Cutie and the Beast, which I really loved, but there's no way for me to fully tell you my thoughts about this without spoiling the entire book. I had a great time with it, but I can't get past the age gap thing. Like, him being almost 30 years old and dating a high schooler is fucking weird, and I don't really care that she's 18. But I'm gonna need to know the story beyond that because that's a huge point of conflict in this book, so I don't know how it resolves. Then I read Happy Marriage, which I really loved. It's not as spicy as you would think, as this back cover would lead you to believe. It's definitely an adult romance. It is definitely an adult manga. I can tell that there will be more fan service in later volumes, but in this one, there's just some kissing and some like groping. But it was a great time. I gave this one like 4 stars as well. Then I switched to reading my library like ebook manga, which was Sign of Affection, which I gave 4.5 stars. I really loved. I Hear the Sunspot I just told you about. That was like a 4-star book. And then finished off with My Love Mix-Up. Now let me go ahead and rank that for you. I know I have no energy, I'm sorry. I just don't have energy. This is the most energy I can give you right now in this context. Final rating of the books. I'm gonna say that at the top is probably Sign of Affection, right? And then it's going to be Cutie and the Beast. I've mentioned all my feelings about it, but it was the one that I enjoyed the most after that. Then I would say it was Happy Marriage. Then it was My Love Mix-Up. Then I Hear the Sunspot. And then Nameless Asterism. That's the order of the books and my enjoyment of them physically. There are still mangas I have yet to get to, like Midnight Secretary. So many more to get to. If you have romance manga recommendations, please do let me know. I'm open to reading a little bit of anything, but with that said, I am going to let you go now. Thank you so much for watching this video as always. I hope that you enjoyed it and coming with me on my very, very, very beginner journey of finding romance mangas that I love. But if you do have recommendations, let me know in the comments. I would love to find some more romance mangas, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!